Good morning, guys, bringing you another video. Today we're going to be looking about cadence. Cadence is sort of RPM, revolutions per minute. Just count how many times your leg spins or on one side per minute, and that'll give you your cadence. So we're going to be looking at Lance Armstrong. This was I think the last time he won the Tour de France, and he worked with Dr. Ferrari, who was an absolute genius when it came to many things, such as obviously more infamously about doping, and the use of EPO really utilized that in all of his athletes, just as Lance Armstrong, as we now know. However, one thing that we can learn from Lance is, well, obviously not how to clip in, but more so, just look at that high cadence. He's going 100, 105. Why do we have a high cadence or a high RPM? It's because when you're spinning your legs that quickly, your body produces less fatigue metabolites, and so what that means is that it gets tired a lot, a lot less than if you were to push a big gear, as we can see, later on in this video with other big hitters like Jans Ullrich, who, many say was probably fitter than Lance, purely because he can, he can push that big gear for such a long period of time. However, if he had a high cadence, he'd be less fatigued, and as you can see, it just looks a hell of a lot smoother. Spinning your legs, we've got the two riders there, one in pink, absolute ridiculous helmets, but I guess every second counts in the Tour. So even Jans Ullrich, he's spinning about 80, but Lance Armstrong 100, 105. Learning from Dr. Ferrari, many of the modern day riders, pretty much any of them who are actually competing at the highest level, they all spin, they all use the same technique. Chris Froome, Nibali just won the Giro, who were just spinning up the climbs. So much easier. It's all to do with having the right gears. The only time modern day riders are ever seen grinding is if their mechanics fitted them poorly with their gears. So what you want, if you want to spin up a hill, obviously on the flat it doesn't really matter, but if you come up to a steep hill, you want a sort of a smaller front chainring. So many people have the compact cranks, 50, 34 on the front, 50 big ring, 34 little ring, and on the back you want a bigger cassette, so maybe a 28 or a 32, or if you're going up anything above 10% gradient, then anything bigger the better, pretty much. But this is a time trial, so it's going to be very flat. Lance Armstrong, well, he's always a topic for debate, love him or hate him. He was the best athlete of his time. He won 7 Grand Tours in France, which is just absolutely unparalleled. But you can still learn a lot from him, all about recovery, high carbohydrates in his diet, constantly fueling. I think they probably won't be eating too much because this is only, maybe like a 1 hour TT. But these guys are going so fast. So there's a few familiar names. Cancellara, still going strong today for Trek. And you see this rider is grinding, producing so much torque. You want to be producing less torque and more power. Cycling is all about power. And as you can see, when people ask, does cycling make your legs bulky? Well, just look at these riders. They're all like 18, 19, 20 BMI max. Ridiculously skinny, rail thin, because it's all about watts per kilo. So cycling does the complete opposite. And sometimes if you're underweight, cycling probably isn't the best one, because you weigh even less, which is definitely not what you want. So really limit your training. But if you're overweight, if you've got a bit of excess weight to lose, then cycling is definitely the best sport. A lot of people will, if you want to lose weight, then a lot of people will, recommend running. Running is great. It's the most natural form of movement. However, it is so high impact that you're probably just going to get injured. That's why I only really recommend, running maybe just once or twice a week, just to build bone density, strengthen the ligaments and tendons, particularly in the ankle, knee and hip joints, which are the ones which are mainly used in running. But because it's so high impact, you can cause so much damage to your joints, particularly if you've got excess weight. You know, the human body was designed to be a greyhound, like, you know, designed to be really skinny, no excess weight at all. That's why when you are overweight, you will come into a lot of joint issues. And that's why cycling is the best, because it's low impact. Doesn't matter what weight you are, you can get yourself properly fitted, and you know, you just burn calories for days. You know, one sort of stage in the Tour de France, riders can be burning 6,000 or 7,000 calories, which is absolutely ridiculous. But this is, as you can see, look at the two Cadence. Who's spinning faster? Who looks more efficient? Jans Ullrich just looks like he's getting bogged down, producing so much torque. Lance Armstrong trying to get a bit of a slipstream there. But these guys are absolutely motoring about 50 kilometers an hour, which is absolutely ridiculous. Look at that speed. And as well, if you're going in a headwind, high cadence does help as well. High cadence just helps all the time. Obviously, if you go low cadence, more torque, it's going to be a lot harder on your joints, produce a lot more pressure. So I definitely do not recommend that. But these guys are absolutely motoring along. So you see, Jans Ullrich looks a bit bulky, but he's still rail thin there. It's just in comparison to Lance Armstrong, who's ridiculously lean. But these are two riders at the very top of their game here. Not too sure about the kit he's got. Both guys got pinged for performance enhancing drugs. But you know, they just did what they had to do to get the sponsors. You think Nike, the only reason why you sort of buy their products is because they're endorsing such top athletes. But the truth is that all these athletes are probably taking something to make, you know, to make sure that they stay top of their game, top of their sport. And you know, it's like the Olympics. People only want to see, you know, absolute gladiators fight it out, doing some superhuman stuff, you know. However, to be able to do the superhuman stuff, you need to do extra things which aren't natural to produce the unnatural results. So just something for you guys to think about. Some interesting topics, always up for debate, always controversial. But as we can see here, what can we learn from Lance? His high cadence. So there's Jans Ullrich. He's actually spinning this time, as he wants to probably try and catch up. So he knows that the faster he turns his legs, even if it's at a slightly easier gear, the more power is produced, and power is all we're concerned with. But Lance Armstrong just showing him how it's done. Even Jans Ullrich spinning, maybe at like 90, Lance Armstrong 100, 105, 110. Just so efficient. As you can see with you know, with today's riders, with all the technology advancements, you can just see how they all choose to spin purely because it's all to do with efficiency. But you know, another thing, is Lance Armstrong a cheat? Well, although he did take substances, everyone else was on the same page. So what separated him from everyone else was just his mindset and his will to win. He really didn't care about anybody apart from himself. And to be at the top, you have to have that sort of narcissism and that element to your game to make sure that it's, you know, win at all costs, get the contract. I don't think, you know, if he didn't dope and he wasn't as good as he was, then, you know, track bikes wouldn't be as popular as they are today. People wouldn't want carbon frames. He was one of the first people to bring them on and really sell them. And, you know, look at all the sponsors. Nike wouldn't be as famous as they are without sponsoring these doped athletes. So guys, thanks for watching.